Hi, Bryce Holdaway here, Director of Empower Wealth and co-host of Location Australia. And today in this how-to session, I want to talk to you about something that I'm often asked, and that is the question of how many properties do you actually need to retire on a passive income for life? Is it 10? Is it 20? Is it just a case of buying multiple properties forever and a day? Or is there actually a definite answer that can help you determine how many you need? Found it really interesting question. So what I did is I approached the Australian Taxation Office and I actually tried to find out how many people lodge a tax return with an investment property, and I found some information. I was really staggered by the outcome because of a very small percentage of the population that actually do buy an investment property. A very large percentage of them stop at one. It was 73% of all property investors stop at one investment property. And what I've found over the years in this industry is that's not quite enough. It's actually better than doing nothing because there's some good taxation benefits, and if you hold it long enough, there are some significant gains to be had. But for you to create a passive income that allows you to retire debt-free, you are going to need more than one investment property. But that's a really important point, that of those who actually do commit to an investment property, not very many actually buy multiple properties. So I guess the idea of buying 10 plus properties is something that a lot of people desire, but in reality not a lot of people achieve. Now what I did is I actually wrote an article on how to create an income for life. It's $2,500 per week, passive income using a property portfolio. And what was really interesting was I had to create a scenario for a late 20s single female, a mid-30s couple with 2 young kids, and a mid-40s couple with 2 older kids. And none of those 3 scenarios had actually invested in property before. And what I hope you find is really, really encouraging is the first scenario of the young, it was Rachel, she was in her late 20s. She needed to buy her principal place of residence and 3 investment properties over her entire journey before she reached the age of 60 and retired on a passive income of $2,500 per week, which is about $130,000 a year. And to put that in context, right now the average household income is around $62,000. So it's quite a significant income indeed. So for her, it was a principal place of residence and 3 investment properties. For the mid-30s couple, it was exactly the same. They needed their principal place of residence and 3 investment properties. And for the mid-40s couple, they actually needed their principal place of residence and 5 investment properties. So again, we're not talking about 10 plus properties. It can actually be done by as little as 5 investment properties, or in 2 of the scenarios, 3 investment properties. So the important point here is this. If you focus on buying the right assets and you focus on getting the debt structure right, it's really, really possible for you to retire on a passive income with as little as 3 investment properties. Now, as I always say, there's 4 things that you need to consider when you're building a property portfolio. A, asset selection. B is borrowing power. C is cash flow management. And D is defence. So when you have a combination of those 4 factors together and knowing which property to buy and getting the right debt structure right, chances are that you can earn yourself a very, very significant passive income through residential real estate. Now, if you actually want to find out a bit more detail on how you can do that and see which one of those 3 scenarios you relate to the most, underneath this video there's a link for you to click and you can actually get a copy of that article and have a read through. It's about 6 pages. It goes into quite some detail so that you can actually see how the scenario works and how it actually might work for you. So my how-to session today was how many properties do you actually need to create a passive income? Well, the answer is there's no general rule of thumb, but the encouraging point is that quite often it can be 5 or less. Good luck with your property investing.